Anne. What I remember about that night were the flimsy orange curtains flapping against her gaping second-story window, the freezing room, her Abbey Road album broken on the shag carpet, her blood in the snow, perfect red dots dribbling up the driveway and down the hill, a call from the hospital interrupting Mom's conversation over coffee with Grandma Mimi at the kitchen table. So much happened in that kitchen, so many battles won and lost. The blood was my sister's, an adolescent at the time, playing her music too loud. Mom barged into her room and cracked Barbara's favorite record over her knee. My sister snapped along with that vinyl. When Mom left her room, Barbara thought of nothing but leaving. She was too angry and scared to walk out the front door. Looking out her upstairs window, she believed the snow, which appeared so soft, would break her fall. She tossed her suitcase and herself out that window. In shock and limping along Woodbury Road, a driver saw her, stopped, and brought her to the hospital. She'd landed on all fours, gashing her knee, wrist, and chin. She needed stitches and compassion, which she didn't find in our father's house, where she went to live after that night in an attic room with another step-family. Some months later, she returned home saying our father's new wife was a neat freak. Once, while they were eating TV dinners, our stepmother practically choked on a chicken breast when she noticed my sister's snowy boots by the door. What I couldn't take was how freaking cold that woman was, she said. She definitely didn't want me there, which meant she wouldn't want me there either. I'd have to make it work where I was, in my stepfather's house, with the hole my stepbrother had put through the wall, forced to listen to slamming doors, scalding silences, petty arguments and accusations, two families squirming like cut worms, wiggling to survive the intrusions divorce and death had bestowed, our losses unspeakable, our losses inescapable. This is called Sanctuary. The fallen oak in the woods behind our house is my balance beam, throne, and meeting room for secret friends to whom I confess I wish my parents would get back together. At 10, so many broken things. The oak asks nothing of me. I scramble between branches in my ready-made fort. No need for bed sheets or dark closets here, or crawling beneath the dining room table. The earth is rich and deep, soft and forgiving, accepting the imprint of my hand and cheek. Before leaving, I stuff my pockets with stones and twigs to anchor myself. The woods remind me another world exists, a world without slammed doors and cold stairs, a world without step-families, a world without a German shepherd who stares at me while I eat, a world without rules I break without knowing what I have done. The axe will come down, it always does. Until I am able to walk out the front door, I am stones and twigs, pieces of myself. And yet, like the oak, I go on, down but still reaching for light, which exists even on cloudy days and at night. I don't know how many of you know this, but I changed my name. My name was Roberta, and I grew up as Roberta, and I got to a point in my adult life in my early 30s where I was writing a novel based on some family secrets. And Roberta had promised her mother that she would never, ever tell anybody about any of the stuff that had gone on in the family. And so I just needed, I needed to not be Roberta anymore, because I needed to speak. I also needed to not be my husband's wife and not be my mother's daughter, and I needed also to affirm what I wanted. And what I wanted was to be beautiful, you know, inside. I wanted beauty and strength. And so I chose a name. Chaya is a blessing. It's a Yiddish word. My father was Jewish, and it means, you know, like the best of the best. It's a blessing. Bella means beautiful in Italian. When I was a child, I used to travel in Italy with my mom and with my grandmother, and she would call me Bella. And it was really hard, you know, on certain members of my family when I changed my name. And I wrote this poem, and it's called Letter from Roberta to Her Parents. I'm thinking of changing my name. I want to reach inside, spill my glitter on the table, let myself shine. Bella reminds me of you, Mom, and all the Latins, hot-blooded beauties with straight spines and fine facial hair. The Sanskrit prefix maha means great, and in Yiddish it's the best of the best. Life couldn't be better. Thanks, Mom, for telling me about Grandma Annie spritzing her underarms at Jones Beach and saying, "Oi, what a mahaya!" Bella Mahaya is an affirmation, a chant, and I hope the power of the name brings out the power in me, in you, in all our ancestors who came to America from Italy, Cuba, and Austria-Hungary to start their lives over. Pioneers, I hypnotize myself, fill my mind with this suggestion. In naming myself, I name all of you. I carry Mom's fine china, along with all the leaves we raked together. I jump from the brick wall in front of our Southwood Circle house, land in a cushion made of Dad's light blue suit. To me, it is the sky, taking me back. You were my gods, ringing Bella, reading the Torah, and teaching me how to sing. This poem is called Autumn. Penis to sacrum, everything's ripe. It's time for the harvest. He releases the day's work, then enfolds me. Warm under a clouded sky, our skins peel away. We are spoons and juicy pulp, poised between sheets, the taste of tomorrow's banquet, already piquant on our tongues. The kiss. When Simone leans over the stick shift in the car to kiss me goodbye, I don't turn my face away like I always do. Maybe it's the warm corn chowder or the cool martini or the conversation about censorship and writing, but I want what's coming. She always kisses me on the lips, which makes me uncomfortable, but this time I welcome the press of her full, soft lips against mine. It lasts a couple of seconds, mouth closed, eyes open, tongues hidden. We look into each other's eyes as if it's the first time. My skin tingles and my head is light. I could stroke her blonde hair and pull her body against mine, but my husband is asleep upstairs and I don't want to be unfaithful. Even if I were single, I'm not sure I could break this rule. I pick up my knapsack, lift the lock, say goodnight. Outside, I set rubber soles against concrete, slam the door, and through the open window, I tell her, write what you want. It doesn't matter what others say. I tell her, you'll never please everyone, so try to please yourself. I lean back into the car and give her one more kiss. Not a soft kiss, not a sexy kiss, but a hard, quick kiss, as if to say, fuck the rules. I watch her drive off. When I walk into our bedroom, my husband asks, how'd the writing group go tonight? I take off my clothes and crawl under the covers, snuggle into his warm body. Simone and I went out after, I tell him. Huh? He mumbles, still half asleep. I pull his face to mine and smash my lips against his, hard enough to make him bleed. Okay, this is called I Feel Pretty. What you should know about my crotchless red lace panties is that we've both worn them. Me with him during sex and he alone in front of the mirror that time I was out of town. He never said whether he pulled his penis through the hole or tucked it away to further contemplate his femininity. Months earlier, my friend Sarah and I drank too much and dressed him in my silk skirt, pantyhose, and pearls. Shoot, Sarah said, you're prettier than I am with those shapely legs, and how'd you learn to walk like that in high heels? This is not what's meant by the phrase, behind every great man there's a great woman, and yet there was greatness. He laughed as much as we did, trying on a fringed scarf, a dangling earring, gazing at himself in the mirror, hands on his hips. He shimmied his broad shoulders, which were usually stiff and weighed down, as if whatever burden settled there took flight. He puckered his lips, stuck out his butt, and twirled on his tiptoes while Sarah and I sang Maria's song from West Side Story. I feel pretty, dot, 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 dot. Remember that song? Do you know that song, you guys? Okay, lizard love. If you want to spice up your sex life, consider erotic dancing. Create a sacred space in your living room and light candles. Spread a blanket on the floor. See, this is why they bring the lair in, to tell you how to spice up your sex life. Okay, light the candles, spread the blanket on the floor, and wait for your husband or lover. Don't hide your smile when he enters the room dressed in nothing but your magenta silk scarf, tied like a diaper, for you are both newly born. It's the scarf with the blue lizards, and one's poking out where his hard-on is. A lunging blue lizard of love just for you, wiggling, bouncing in reptilian charm. Here's technique that cannot be taught, but must be discovered. A ballet of desire and trust, unrehearsed yet perfectly performed for an audience of one, which, by the end, is what the two of you become. That scarf was made by a Scripps friend of mine. One of her Scripps fatigue classes. Little did she know what would become of that scarf. This is called At 1 Week. A friend calls and asks, "What do you know about your daughter?" "That I love her," I say, thinking I know little else. But I know her fingers curl like snails into fists, and her nails are the smallest squares I have ever seen. I know the length of her foot is shorter than my thumb, and when I kiss her toes, she smiles. I know her skin is softer than melted wax, and when she sleeps, she can be serene or just the opposite. I know her body can become a ballet of twitches, puckered mouth, flickering eyebrows, scrunched nose. I know she grunts like an animal, and her eyeballs skitter beneath their creamy lids. I know she likes being rocked outside underneath the flowering jasmine. When she fidgets, if I place her on my chest and breathe deep from my belly, she'll relax. But even more than my breath, and perhaps more than me, I know she loves my nipples, stretchy sprayers of warm milk. Who knew a nipple could reach halfway down an infant's throat? Who knew any part of me could ever be this flexible, that I could go without sleep and showers, that I could maintain sanity without solitude, that I could endure midnight wailing and the incessant need for rocking, that movement no longer referred to dance, but to loading our insomniac infant into the car for snooze cruises, that I'd be able to give up life as I knew it, that my fear would finally stop kicking and screaming, that motherhood would hold me in its arms and cajole my heart out of hiding. Precipice. I put my 2-month-old in the car and drive to the mountains. I am housebound and sleep-deprived, and she is cranky. The fresh air will do us both good. I strap her to my belly in the new baby Bjorn and hike switchbacks flanked with manzanita. When I reach the top, I scramble over gravel and rock. At the edge of a cliff, I think, I could unsnap this harness and watch her plummet through the air, drop 100 feet, disappear into the ravine, the Great Gorge. Mother Earth would take her back, and I'd be me again. But what would I tell my husband? In an interrogation room, smoke curling from cigarettes clenched between their teeth, the detectives won't believe a word I say. There must be an easier way. I could leave her outside the ranger's door with a note, "Please return to so-and-so with this phone number." I would jump myself, but I don't want my daughter growing up without a mother, and I don't want her raised by any woman but me. Maybe the two of us could plunge together, though I couldn't do that to my husband. I love him too much to take everything he has. My daughter cranes her wobbly neck to look up at me, all spit bubbles and smiles, her face aglow under the setting sun. I pick up a rock the size of a melon, hurl it over the edge, watch it smack the earth, and tumble down the mountain, dust and the clatter of stones rising as I turn from that bluff and hike back to our car.